CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
The boys of summer are coming back to the capital. CTV News has learned that baseball is returning to Victoria's Royal Athletic Park. 2010 was the last time you heard the crack of the bat at RAP. The Victoria Seals eventually folded under the weight of their players' salaries, the travel costs and facility fees. Now CTV News has learned the West Coast League, which is made up of college baseball players, will take to the diamond this summer. There are currently 9 teams in that league. The Victoria franchise will become the 10th and only the 2nd Canadian team. CTV's Myra Lawrence has more on the West Coast League and the return of baseball to Royal Athletic Park later in sports. Canada's top soldier says the Navy is his biggest worry when it comes to the need for modernizing the military. General Walter Natinchuk says it's time to get moving on the national shipbuilding strategy. In a speech in Halifax today, he says it's time to begin building the country's next fleet of combat ships as part of the $33 billion national shipbuilding strategy. The Seaspan Marine Yard in North Vancouver will build 7 vessels under an $8 billion contract for non-combat ships. The finishing work on those will be carried out at Victoria shipyards. There are concerns, though, that the contracts on both coasts could be delayed by federal budget cuts. A Vancouver Island First Nations man is being recognized for his lifelong dedication to improving the lives of Indigenous people. The University of Victoria is honoring Grand Chief Edward John with an honorary Doctor of Laws. John received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Sociology at UVic in 1974 and completed his law degree at UBC. After establishing a law practice, he founded the first and only tree farm license awarded to a BC First Nation, Tanazul Timber. But he did not stop there. He also signed the first child services agreement between the Carrier and Sakani First Nations and the provincial government and helped to write the blueprint for BC's treaty negotiation process.
I never thought I would come back here or see this. I had no expectations and certainly appreciate the very kind and generous acknowledgement by this university. It means a lot for me to see that the work that I represent is not all my work. It's the work of our chiefs in British Columbia, of our elders in our communities, our women and our youth, that I've been in a fortunate position to be an advocate for them.
Grand Chief Edward John says today was particularly special because he was not able to attend his first convocation at UVic in 1974. Saanich police are asking for your help tonight. They're trying to solve a suspicious death. A woman's body was discovered in Colquitts Park a year ago today, and although investigators believe that they are not dealing with a homicide, they still have several questions they're trying to find answers to. It was on June 12th of last year, the body of Shannon Rogers was found behind the Tillicum Mall, and investigators believe it had been there for several days. Police are trying to piece together the woman's whereabouts and what happened in the hours leading up to her death. They are especially interested in the dates June 3rd to June 12th, 2011. Saanich police believe the information will bring closure for her family.
Detectives would like to appeal to those who may not have come forward with information a year ago. If for whatever reason your personal circumstances prohibited you from doing so at the time, we would ask that you reconsider. Or as well, if you have shared or been interviewed by our detectives but have not shared fully or have some further information, we would encourage those people to contact us as well.
If you have any information on Shannon Rogers, you're asked to contact Saanich Police or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 8477. Well, cyclists in the capital region are going the distance in support of finding a cure for a deadly disease.
You need to make the most of what you've been blessed with.
6 riders from Greater Victoria pedaled through the Purple Ribbon to kick off the Cycle of Hope in Victoria today. The cyclists are set to ride 650 kilometers throughout the province to help raise awareness and money for families living with ALS. They'll start in Kamloops, and 10 days later they'll finish in Hope. One of the cyclists says she organized the ride after losing her father to the devastating disease.
I wanted to do something that I love to do because I know that's what he would want me to do. And I'm surrounded by friends, which makes the healing so... It just feels, I feel safe with them. So, it's been quite the journey so far. We haven't even left, and I feel like we've been on a huge, massive just trip.
It's a big deal, and I'm just so thrilled to be behind it. I mean, the motto of this ride is, cycle of hope, what would you do while you still could? And the reality is that I can still ride, so why wouldn't I for somebody with ALS that can't?
Of course, it's not Robin's first ride. She was a Tour de Rock rider as well. In Canada, 2 or 3 people die each day from ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. If you'd like to support the Victoria Riders on their journey, you can go to cycleofhope.ca. Tofino Hospital is operating under a reduced service model tonight until 8 o'clock because of a staffing shortage. That reduction came into effect at 8 this morning. The Vancouver Island Health Authority put a notice out to people in the region to only attend the emergency room at the hospital if it is life and limb or organ-threatening conditions. Service is expected to return to normal by 8 tonight. A man from Protection Island was rescued from the chilly waters of Nanaimo's harbour by a quick-thinking commissionaire and local Mounties. It happened about 3 o'clock this morning. The commissionaire was patrolling Nanaimo's Port Authority docks when he saw a man in the water struggling to get out. He rushed over to the man, tried to pull him onto the docks, but couldn't lift him on his own. He called 911, and within minutes, RCMP were there and completed the rescue.
This individual is very lucky to be alive this morning. A number of factors were in his favor. The one that the commissioner, he's a longtime commissioner there, was doing his job, patrolling the docks. He saw the male and reacted appropriately, calling 911. Unfortunately, we had some members on scene. The things that were going against this male was that his flotation device wasn't working. You have to check them to see if they're actually inflating. Sometimes they get puncture holes. And the other factor was the alcohol was probably a contributing factor in his decision to go back to the island that night.
The 38-year-old man was treated for hypothermia and released from the hospital. Police say he had been out having drinks with friends before trying to head home on his boat. RCMP have taken down a significant drug ring in the Mid-Island region, arresting 9 people and raiding an extensive marijuana grow operation. Oceanside officers teamed up with members from the Port Alberni RCMP and the Island District Drug Section to execute warrants on 2 properties in Beaver Creek and in Errington. They searched 4 industrial-sized greenhouses and seized thousands of pot plants.
There was approximately 2,500 plants found in each location, for a total right around 5,000 plants. That is a significant amount. It took a very large amount of room to grow that volume of marijuana. So, it's a good day, but we're finding more and more.
Both Canadian and Polish citizens were arrested in the police raids. RCMP believe the operation has been growing for years, and they're still investigating. All of the accused are due to appear in court in September.